afternoon, Prime Minister. I'm Marie Adsett with CBC Local here. I do have a follow-up healthcare question if I'm allowed, but these two questions are from the Parliamentary Bureau. As Canada has indeed said it would support international justice institutions like ICJ, are you asking that Israel should withdraw from Rafah?
Canada's position has been clear for many, many weeks now. We need an immediate ceasefire. Hamas needs to lay down its arms, release all hostages, but there also must be no more military operations in Rafah by Israel, and certainly no escalation of military operations in Rafah. We need to be getting humanitarian aid into Gaza at much greater amounts than are right now. The humanitarian catastrophe is horrific. The dangers of starvation and famine are real. We need to be helping on the ground. We need to get more aid in. The ICJ's latest proposed measures go exactly in that direction, and the ICJ's proposals are binding, and we expect everyone to follow them as a matter of international law.
Israel says there's no other way of getting rid of Hamas other than this incursion. What is your response to that?
Canada's position has always been that the solution to the extraordinarily difficult challenges in the Middle East are a two-state solution. A peaceful, secure, democratic Israel alongside a peaceful, secure, democratic Palestinian state. That is what Canada has been working on for decades. That continues to be our path forward, along with many other countries. Unfortunately, the Netanyahu government is creating barriers and blockages to ever being able to create or even imagine that two-state solution. That is where we fundamentally disagree with the Netanyahu government, even as we continue to support the rights of the State of Israel and also the aspirations of the Palestinian people. We need an end to the violence. We need humanitarian aid for those impacted in the region, and we need a path forward towards a true two-state solution.
About the letter from U.S. senators, I mean, we're talking about that 2% and the commitment to get there. I mean, most of the UN members are expected to meet that target this year. Canada won't.
Sorry, I think you mean NATO members.
NATO, sorry, yes, thank you. So how can your government say that not meeting the target isn't affecting our relationship with the U.S.?
Well, first of all, it's important to remember where Canada was. In 2015, under the Harper Conservatives, in which Pierre Poilievre was minister in that government, defense spending dropped for the first time to below 1% of our spending. When we got elected in 2015, not only did we reopen the Veterans Affairs offices that Harper had shuttered, not only did we start investing in our military, we actually doubled military investments over the past years. We are now on track to reaching over 1.76% of GDP, which is a record high for Canada, and we're not done yet. There is more to do. And I will say, in the conversations I've had with my American colleagues and counterparts, the massive investments we're making in upgrading our fighter jet fleet with 88 new fighter jets, our investments close to $40 billion in NORAD modernization, our recent budget's massive investments in Arctic safety and security, recognizing NATO's western and northern flank is Canada's Arctic, are all extremely well received by the Americans and by allies around the world who want to see us continue to step up. We recognize there's more to do, and we will be there to do it because we are the ones who are taking seriously Canada's defense needs and making sure the women and men of our armed forces have the right equipment, not just to fulfill what their fellow Canadians expect of them, but what our allies around the world are counting on us to do.
And CBSA is now potentially striking over telework. PSAC threatened a summer of discontent over your government sending public servants back to the office for an additional day a week. So is your government willing to have public servants only come in 2 days to avoid labor strife?
We know when it comes to CBSA, the work they do is extremely important and extremely difficult, and we recognize the hard work that they do every day, keeping Canada safe at our borders. But we also know that the best labour agreements happen at the bargaining table, and that's exactly where the ministers are focused, and we will continue to do that.
This guy's such
Thank
a
you.
flip-flop.
Last question.
Prime Minister Mike MacDonald from the Canadian Press. Your government and the NDP passed a motion to support the ICJ. What does that look like in terms of the latest ruling from the International Court of Justice?
I believe I already answered that question 2 minutes ago. Do you have another question for me?
Okay, it's regarding the lobster fishing areas off of New Brunswick that were closed. You may have answered this in French already, but as you know, fishermen refuse to move their traps, and the questions are being raised. Maybe the protections for these whales have gone too far. How do you respond?
Actually, I think your information might be a little bit out of date. The fisheries minister worked directly with concerned fishers and the industry and has actually found a solution. Everyone wants to see endangered species protected. Everyone needs to see fishers continuing to earn a living and support their communities, and that's exactly what we're able to do right now through conversations among people who all want the same things. We've been able to come to an agreement on moving the traps closer to shore for the 15-day concern period, and this is a great example of people working together in a thoughtful way to aims that we can all agree to.
Thank you. That concludes today's press conference.
Any questions on pharmacare or the announcement we're making today that matters deeply to Canadians?
J'ai une question, mais je ne sais pas si elle vous conviendra. Mais